We are
Troy?
live and on air, everybody. Well, good morning and happy Saturday, at least here in the United States. We're excited that you guys are here. We've got a great panel of individuals who are rocking and rippling and playing Photo Guessaroo. So we really want to have a really fun hangout this morning. Got some of my friends here from Boise, some of the folks from Idaho. We got Michael Marshall. We got Alex and Jen. And I think Vanessa's going to hang out just to make sure that we don't get too crazy on this hangout. So, again, everybody, we've had an amazing week and an amazing month with the release of Photo Guessaroo, and I personally am super excited to see this thing happen because I know some of you relate. I've got 3 kids at home, and those kids are on their iTouches and their iPads, and they are game playing machines. And so, you know, I'm that dad that's always like, come on, man, stop playing games and go outside and play. And now I've got them inside playing Photo Guessaroo. So it's been really cool. And one of the things that I wanted to touch base with everybody and kind of share why I'm so excited about this before we share some of the other individuals on this hangout is my personal experience. Having been in the industry, you know, I've been in direct sales, I've been in traditional businesses, I've done a lot of different networking companies because I love this industry. And this industry has treated us very well, whether we were doing the company a primary networking company, and I can't even really call Rippln a networking company. It's so different the way it looks and feels. But I've always had a networking company that I was doing primarily or something I was doing in the background while I did a traditional business. And I was talking to Andrea earlier yesterday about our experience here with Rippln and how we've never seen anything like this before. Literally, this is one of those experiences where it has leveled the playing field more than we've ever seen, ever. And the reality is because this has never been possible before. Prior to 2007, I think everybody understands that this little guy right here was launched in 2007. Do you remember the fanfare, the iPhone 1? The App Store didn't exist prior to that. And that first app that launched has now become a multi-billion-dollar industry just since 2007. And I would love it if somebody would do some research and find out what that first app that was in the App Store was. But what I do know is the first incentivized sharing app, which is Photo Guessaroo, and we're the ones who are taking that to market. And so one of the things that Andrea and I were talking about is, you know, we love the networking industry just because of the ability to go out and create a lifestyle that most people are never going to see, you guys. With the conversations they've been stuck into, most people will never retire with the current state of the union, with the current way things are done. Go to school, get good grades, get a good job. I'll step off that soapbox, but when I found network marketing, literally it gave me that opportunity to go out and create something magic. And I went out and I tore it up. We've made tremendous amounts of money in network marketing. And what's fascinating is I'm not interested in doing it the old way anymore. And I think a lot of people will relate to me when I say this. They call it home-based business because it's true. You're always in other people's homes. You're putting on a suit and a tie. You're going across town. You're sitting down in somebody else's living room. And you're drawing circles on a whiteboard. I don't know about you. I am not interested in that at all anymore, at all. And so one thing I did love about that, though, was that incredible compensation structure. The ability to leverage multiple people's efforts off of doing things that they're already doing and earn an income that you do the work for once and you get paid for over and over and over again. And so I was doing it with the suits and ties in other people's homes for years because I love that type of an income. But with 3 kids, lots and lots of sports, and a full life, I'm just not interested in putting on that suit and tie and driving all over the country to build my business. I'm not. So when Rippln came around, and it showed me that I have the ability to monetize a compensation structure that I've fallen in love with, but not have to do the things that I don't want to do, but literally earn an income off of doing what I am doing, which is on Facebook. I download apps. I download, not too many games, but I download a lot of music. And I get compensated for doing that. And so that's the thing. I think that's what people really need to understand about what we're doing here. We're paying people to do what they're already doing. And the other aspect of it that is super exciting for, I think, everybody on this hangout is the fact that wherever you have one of these, you have a business. And so Brian and I were talking about the fact that literally what this is like is you putting on a backpack and a parachute, Rippln being in that backpack, and we can drop you off anywhere on the planet, and you can begin making an income. And so that's what's so exciting about what we have in our hands. I've got some amazing people on this hangout who are going to share some of their experiences about the new app that we've launched, Photo Guessaroo. I think all of you are playing it. If you're not, you need to. It's fun. And most importantly, what it means to people. Because in business, when you can collapse time frames, that's the magic. Because we all want to make money, but if you can look at $100 bills in increments of time, that's when it gets real for us. And so I like what Tony Robbins says, you know, when you can compress decades into days, man, what's that worth to you? And we were able to expose a compensation structure and a business and a way to make money today in one day, what used to take 1 year. So imagine what that means to you. So that's to give you a real scope of what we're playing with. We're compressing time frames, making money doing what we're already doing. So that's what I got to say about that right now. So Vanessa, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that you've summarized it wonderfully. It's a big week. It is time for a celebration around the Rippln community, because what we have been waiting for in order to actually move forward is, you know, the proof of our concept, and this first app really does that for us. It shows that you can be rewarded for your sharing, and it's going to be wonderful to see how many lives are changed in a positive way and affected by what we're doing and creating around the world. And for those of you who have been playing with us for the last couple of months, you know, the checks have come out already. Money is being made and passed down through the Rippln, and it's a wonderful thing, and it's just going to get bigger and better. So I'm curious and excited to hear what everyone on the line has to say about how they're sharing Photo Guessaroo and what Photo Guessaroo means to them. So Troy, I'm going to throw it back to you and let you continue on down the line.
I appreciate it, Vanessa. Well, thanks for that. Well, I've got my friend Andrea Vlanderen, she's a good friend of mine. We met in her coffee shop about 5 years ago. She's actually one of my best friends. So it's really fun to get to have a business with her. She's the gal that I throw spaghetti against the wall, and she makes it nice and organized, puts it in a bowl, makes it real neat. So Andrea's been fun to work with because she's one of the people who actually communicates this very, very well. And Andrea, I know you've been playing Photo Guessaroo and really coaching on it. Can you kind of share what you've seen with this since it's launched?
Sure. Thanks for, I really appreciate being on this hangout this morning. It's been really fun. So, I've been involved with Rippln almost from the very start, and I had an experience this week that was really unique. First of all, I'm not a game player. Up until two weeks ago, I've never played a game. I finally gave in and downloaded Candy Crush, just to be really honest. And I am like now I know why I don't play games, because I'm an addict now. I mean, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm on my phone at night playing these games. They're so addicting. So my husband just shakes his head, and he said, and in a million years, I never would have thought you would have been like this. So I admit it. We almost need like an AA for game addictions now. But anyway, so I had a really unique experience this week that really opened my eyes to what we have. And that was, I went and got my hair done, and my hairdresser, she's, you sit and talk to him about pretty much everything going on in your life. And so she's honestly been involved and known about Rippln right from the start, just because it's something I've, been chatting with her for quite some time. Every time I go in, she's asks me, okay, so what's going on? She's never got in the Rippln. So interestingly enough, this last time, kind of same conversation started. She started asking me, so what's going on? And, what are you guys doing now? And we had just launched our first app. And I told her, I said, oh my gosh, we just launched our first game app. And I shared that with her, and her eyes lit up, and she says, a game? And she says, oh my gosh, have you played this game and this game? It started this whole conversation about games. By the time I left, we had her in the Rippln, we had the game downloaded, and she was so beyond excited that she could now do, she's like, you know what, I didn't even think about doing anything within Rippln, because this is what I do. I'm here practically 24 hours a day doing my job, but I play games, and all my friends play games. And she told me about all these cool, fun games and everything. And, I mean, before I had even left, she had shared it with at least 5 or 10 different friends, sending messages, oh my gosh, you got to check this out. So it really opened my eyes to kind of a world that I haven't really truly been involved with. And so it was really exciting, to me, to really see it blew me away of what what's going to happen with this. And, you know, the people that are now going to be attracted that may never have even looked at this before that. So.
Yeah, what you're saying, I think that's that's exciting, by the way. And yes, I think we're going to have to implement a 12-step program for people who are on their games because it's addictive. And I think with your hairdresser, you know, you've got a gal who cuts hair, and I know for a fact, because I see it, you know, when I go get my hair cut at the barber, there's guys with their iPhones out, you know, and they're playing games. And, you know, the money that's involved with these, looking at it from, you take the fun, that's great, but look at the money behind it. And I don't think a lot of people yet realize the type of money that's being generated through apps. You know, you've got 20-year-old kids who are living at home with mama and daddy, and they create an app, and they're running billion-dollar companies today. And that's one of the things that's amazing. It's this is just a new economy. It's a new economy. We're first movers into this market, and I like that because, again, we're not teaching people something that, you know, these high skill sets. They don't have to go through a course to learn how to sell. They're already doing it. They're playing a game, and it's fun. And the cool thing is it helps people in a huge, huge way. Rather than paying, you know, giving all the money to the App Store, you know, and Apple, we get to put it in the pockets of the people who are sharing that out. So I know you've been having a good time, so I'll probably see it in the rooms of the 12-step program. So, hey, Alex, I know you guys have been tearing it up. You and your team have been, you guys have been a solid part of this company from the beginning. I know you've got some amazing people on your team, but I also know that you, in particular, have been really leading the charge with this. And I'd love to hear what, you know, your take is on it, why you've dedicated, because I know you're a business professional, why you're a part of this, and why you are spending so much time with Photo Guessaroo and helping take this out to market.
So thanks for, again, inviting me on to the Hangout today. And I take off from Andrea's sentiments a moment ago when it comes to playing games and how I'm not really a game player, all right? Although I'm highly competitive. And I'm sure there's many people on this Hangout that are competitive and are listening to this and are competitive. But it wasn't, you know, my kids obviously play games, but I looked at this as, what if you could actually, I mean, I just kind of take a step back. Just a few years ago, when people asking me to teach them about social media, I started to look at what I was actually, you know, what I was teaching. And people would ask me all the time, hey, you know, do you think I should play those games like Candy Crush or Farmville, or, you know, do you think I should participate in that kind of stuff on a platform like Facebook? And I used to tell them, well, how do you think people view you when you're on those platforms just playing games all day long? Do they look at you as a professional, as a business person who's trying to get things done during the day, or that has unlimited amounts of time? And yet, here we are, 2013, and we have the ability to literally play, have fun, and grow a massive network that it's going to pay us huge dividends into the future. So it's totally shifted my thought process about playing games. And I used to be the dad that, just like you, Troy, you know, get off those video games and get outside and start playing. And I'm not saying that I'm not still that dad, but there's a little bit of a different, you know, position now that we can come from when it comes to playing games, especially when it's going to reward us for playing games. And this is just the beginning, as Brian says, of where we're going with this company. So I kind of wanted to spend a few minutes to share some things and tips for people that are playing Guessaroo for the first time. And we're going to, you know, not go through the exact nitty-gritty of how to load the app. I assume right now the app is on your phone, and maybe you're a little competitive, or maybe you're looking at how do I play this with my team. And I'm going to give you some tips on that. So the first thing you want to do when you start playing this game is you want to load 100 puzzles into the game. And you want to load 100 puzzles into the game that are potentially shots of you and your family or situations like that. But you also want to load in pictures that people would find fun and interesting and new, and maybe not in the words innovative, but just kind of fun, exciting, funny pictures, all right? At the same time, you don't want to put pictures in that are so hard for people to solve, because the first time when you open the game up, you're given a certain amount of coins. If you want to rack up more coins without having to purchase, by the way, I know that lots of us, right, all of us on this panel right now are all VIP players. That means we've all decided, hey, we're going to go in at $9.99 a month and just get the maximum amount of coins that we can play with. So for those of you that are trying to maximize your first start in the game, you need to rack up coins. You rack up coins by putting up puzzles. You're also going to rack up coins and help your team to rack up some coins by putting puzzles that are relatively simple for them to solve. All right. If you make them too difficult, you super zoom them out where they can't see what's actually in the picture. You make it too difficult for them to solve, and therefore they're not going to be able to get as many coins. All right. So you teach that principle along the way. If you play some easy games, puzzles, you'll be able to rack up coins. But you also want to, if you're playing quick play, when you press that button called quick play on your phone, right? That one right here. If you come across a puzzle that you like, there's another button called More from this user. Go over to that user and look at their puzzles, and you'll see lots of people that have voted up puzzles that they have. Those are probably going to be pretty good puzzles to solve, generating and racking up more coins for you. Because this is about playing the game. I'm giving it from two perspectives. One, it's about playing the game for those of you that are competitive and want to be on a leaderboard. The second is, and we're going to talk about in a second, is how do I utilize the game to actually grow my Ripple? Because it really makes no difference whether you're on a leaderboard or not. What makes a difference is how often are you sharing this game. It is fun to compete, though, and play the game. And after you've played the game thousands and thousands of puzzles later, you'll start to notice a pattern, by the way, in the way that people put up puzzles. I'm sure many of you that have played the game a lot know this already, that there's probably about 20 or 30 different puzzles that almost are common to all people in the way that they post those puzzles. And you'll learn those patterns. I won't give away all those details. That's part of the fun of learning it. All right? Here's another tip. If you come across a puzzle that's super blurry, all right, the chances are that either is a bad photograph that somebody's put up or they've super zoomed it too much. And if you can't solve it by trying to do the word scramble and you go over to try to solve it, I would recommend that you don't use the 75 coins to try to zoom out because it probably won't help. Go ahead and solve it with 100 coins and just move on to the next puzzle. All right? That's something else I found in the game. So again, when you find cool puzzles, click on More from this user and then jot down that person's name, because in the future when you want to start sharing those puzzles over to different platforms or to text messaging to people, you want to share puzzles that they're going to find cool and fun, not only that you've loaded, but from other people as well. And you get access to really cool puzzles, by the way, inside the VIP area, as many of you have probably found out already. Okay? So I can go on and on as far as the tips are concerned, but here's really what it is in a nutshell for me. I'm excited about playing this game, but as many of you know, next week we're going to get to start playing a real game of life. And I can tell you, over a decade ago, I was introduced to that game. And this game is going to revolutionize the way that you live your life and the way that you play business. And I can't tell you how excited I am. It's going to be amazing, and that's going to be coming out next week, as I know many of the leadership is going to talk about that. But I've been having an absolute blast. Remember, focus your energy on, at this point, playing. For me, now it's about playing maybe 10% of the time and sharing it 90% of the time. First, when you get into the game, you want to get acclimated and really start to understand the game so you can teach it to people and show it to people. Maybe you're going to play the game 50 to 60% of the time and you're going to share it 40% of the time. But as you start getting good at the game and start realizing how the game works, focus your energy on sharing versus playing as much. And it will grow your Ripple much, much deeper and wider and faster if you do that. So thanks for having me on today, guys. I'm so excited about what's about to take place over the course of the next couple of weeks. Is going to be amazing.
Alex, I think you need to message me all the hacks to this game, man, because that's pretty good stuff. So definitely give me all the little tips and tricks so that I can get to the top of the leaderboard. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, you got some great information, and I'm excited to see where it's going. I'd love to share back with Andrea here in a few if we got some time to share about that game you're talking about coming up. But first, I'd like to hear from Jen, because I know Jen's been rocking this thing. She's been at the forefront of the photo Guessaroo charge. So Jen, what do you think about all this?
Well, it was pretty interesting because I was in the Dallas event when Jonathan Budd had shared it with us for the very, very first time. And the one thing that I really want to hone in on about what photo Guessaroo means for me and my business is the feeling of community and the feeling of being able to do it together. And that has been the largest thing that has come out of this for me. So, we're sitting there at dinner in Dallas, and Jonathan's passing his phone around, and we're all trying to figure out what it was. And it took 4 of us and revealing one letter for him to figure out what the puzzle was. So then I was very honored when they asked me if I would be one of the beta testers, where I could, kind of put in some stuff. And so I was beta testing it, and I couldn't, so at that point I couldn't share it with anyone. I couldn't share it with my 2 girls. I couldn't share it with my husband. I couldn't share it. So what was happening is it was like family time around mom's phone. It was my 6-year-old going, Mommy, can we play Photo Guessaroo? And it was really amazing to me, because we're talking about, kids and games, and, I'm also a parent of 10 and 6-year-old girls, and it's amazing how much they connect with this particular game, and I like the way that it uses their brain, and how they're thinking about it, and how they want to make puzzles. So then, fast forward a little bit later, we're camping, and we've got my parents, so another generation, my husband and I, my nephews who are teenagers, and my kids who are little. Seriously, if you see any camping puzzles, they're probably mine, because we took pictures of everything out there, and we sat around the campfire and passed my phone around like crazy. Fast forward a little bit later, we had a dinner party. We had just couples. And some, we were just kind of, we normally play cards. No, it's play Photo Guessaroo on Jen's phone. And so the really cool thing about it for me is how fun it can be for, number one, all ages, whether you normally play games or not, which, some of the people have explained already, but the sense of community and being able to share the puzzles. And we were on a corporate call not too long ago, and we were all cuddled up in bed. It was a school night, and we're all cuddled up in Mommy and Daddy's bed, all 4 of us, and all 4 of us had our phones out and iPod touches, and we're all playing Photo Guessaroo while we're listening to the corporate call. And I don't know how, Candy Crush doesn't do that, anything else doesn't do that, but because it's Mommy's business, because they understand that, they're getting incentivized to share it, and the sense of community that the game brings it's just been amazing. And when it launched live, I was more than ecstatic, and just love sharing. I was on the leaderboard for a while, and then someone went crazy, and I don't know where I am right now. I got to search for my own name, so I got to get back on that leaderboard. But thanks, Troy. I mean, that's really what it's been for me, and being able to be exposed to the game and just having a fantastic time, and can't wait to share it with more and more people.
That is awesome stuff. I love what you're sharing there. And my computer's acting a little wonky. If it shuts down, I'll restart it and hop back on. But, you said something, and Alex said something about game playing. We've all come from this old school way of thinking that games are bad for kids. Well, if you guys write this down, she's got a strange last name, but it's Jane McGonigal. Jane McGonigal. Go on to TED Talks and pull up Jane's, what she talks about games and how it can change the future. And it will blow your mind and completely change the way you think about kids playing games. I mean, it's very remarkable where this technology is going, and actually the massive amounts of benefits that it can bring to communities. So I'll let you do that research on your own, but Jane McGonigal on TED Talks will blow your mind. And yeah, I'm gonna have to start checking out your puzzles there. I want to see what you got there, camping lady. So
yeah.
All right, I think Troy's computer has done something magical. Let's see if he comes back on in a second. But Jen, yeah, I think I've come across some of your camping puzzles, so I knew it was you, and it gave me a good feeling to solve your puzzle and give it a thumbs up. So
thank you. Thank you.
Michael, you are with us out in Raleigh, and if you would share with us how you are sharing what Photo Guessaroo means to you. We do try to make sure that these hangouts are concise on time for everybody's Saturday. But if we have a few minutes left, please share with us again Photo Guessaroo and how the week has been for you.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I was pretty excited when it started, and for people who know me, this tends to come as a surprise. I'm actually not a big games person, even though I spent my entire adult life in the computer world. I've never gotten into games. I think I had one game app on my iPhone or my iPad before I got Photo Guessaroo, and I played that game twice. So this has been kind of a new world for me, but I really, really enjoy it, as you can tell by how many puzzles I've solved. But I've been having a lot of fun sharing it because it's so easy. I do have a lot of other friends who do play lots of games online, and I see the little alerts on Facebook all the time. So what I do now is when I see one of those alerts come through on the little ticker for Facebook, I click on it and I go into a comment and I say, hey, have you played Photo Guessaroo? And I put my little link in there, and most of them haven't heard of it, but I know that these are folks who really like playing games. And I find that that's a pretty good way to share it directly with someone who I know while they're actually in the mindset of playing games. And it works pretty well. And I was going to give some tips on Guessaroo gaming. The thing that I have discovered that works for me is when I get to a puzzle, it's often difficult for people to unscramble the letters when they're looking at it kind of mentally to figure out, what word does this spell. And what I tend to do is I'll take some letters and I just put some letters up on there, even though I'm not actually going to be using them. And it actually helps you see the rest of the letters more easily. And then once I can usually figure out a word, and then I take that down and then put the other letters up there, and I'm able to solve it that way. Some of the other tips I was going to give, Alex already gave, so I don't have much to share there. I do spend most of my time playing the game actually multitasking, and the great thing is now my kids, will come up and they'll see me playing this game, and they'll say, "What are you doing?" And I can say, "I'm working," and that's that's a great thing to be able to say, that you're having that much fun doing something that's actually working.
That's very, very cool. I like that. I'm going to use that. My kids play games, both of them, between the iPad and the iPhone and the iPod and all the different devices we have in the house. They're always playing games. My son's always asking for more gems, more coins, more fuel, more cat food, whatever game he's playing, and it's been fun to watch through Guessaroo, especially when I've had to increase my coin consumption so that I can guess and play my addiction. It's going to be a great way around the world to reward us for what we're already doing. We said that over and over again. We're going to be rewarded for what we're already doing, and it really is true. And one of the things that you talked about is the ability to connect with those that you're already social with on Facebook and maybe Pinterest and Twitter. And there's so many ways to share. You got to find your niche. Alex, Jen, Andrea, everybody gave awesome information. And a lot of us are doing the same things because we're helping each other and we're learning from each other. So Michael, thank you for your sharing. Shannon, I'm going to turn it over to you right now. And it's always fun to go towards the end because a lot of times the other folks have said a lot of what you wanted to say. But please tell us about Photo Guessaroo for you this week, how you're sharing, what it means to you in your life, and all of the excitement.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I have kind of an interesting story for Photo Guessaroo because I actually am an Android user, so I wasn't able to download it on my phone. But my dad has an iPad he uses for work. So we were talking about the game, and my dad, he's never really has been too sure about this whole Rippln thing and everything that I've been involved with. So anyway, I was telling him about the app, and he was sitting there messing on his iPhone or iPad, doing something. He was like in his calendar or something, setting up jobs for the week. And I was like, real quick, if you have a minute, I could show you the app, download it on your iPad. So we downloaded it, and my mom comes over, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm showing him the new app that Rippln just brought out." So anyway, we ended up the whole night playing Photo Guessaroo, the whole family. I'm one of 10 kids, so all the kids were just circled around this one iPad, and my mom is literally running around the room. We could take a picture of this. We could take a picture of that. She went crazy with it. It was hilarious. But my mom or my dad have never played any apps, any games or anything on the iPad, my phone, anything like that. So it was amazing to actually see them do that. But then my mom, she's really good with puzzles. So we were up late, me, her, and my dad were up late probably till close to midnight, just sitting there playing this game. We probably solved like over 100 puzzles at the end of the night. But she was just nailing them one by one. Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. I know what that is. And then the next day, it was hilarious because she started to drive my dad crazy because anytime we walked into the room, she's looking for things to take a picture of with the iPad to make a puzzle. So, I mean, she was just running around, literally running around the house. We could make a, puzzle out of this. This would be really hard to figure out. And she goes over to the, I mean, it was crazy, just running around. But the crazy thing is, for me, is to actually see them get involved with something like this, because they've never really been, they've never actually really been interested in anything like this. And I've always been business minded. I got involved with I started my own business at age 14, and they were really supportive of that. But this Rippln things, it's all on the computer, so they're kind of they're not so sure about it. But after they saw the app, I think it changed everything for them and for me. They could actually see what I was doing, what I was involved with. They could actually play the game and actually see what it was like. So, I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to help. Growing up, I heard a lot of people say, from the people that we know, they were always against the games and the apps, kids playing on their phone all the time. They thought it, took them away from spending time with the family and everything. And as we sat around as a family playing the game, I really have to disagree with that. I think there's probably a lot of kids that do that. They just kind of separate themselves to play their game. But that's not how Guessaroo was, especially for my family. We all sat around and played it together, which was great, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great for everybody to grow the Rippln, grow a business. I mean, playing a game, I've never been a gamer myself. This is actually the first game I've actually really played. I use my my Android for strictly business. I'm just a business, that's pretty much all I do. So so it's kind of neat. I was really excited, and now I'm considering getting an iPod or iPhone so I can actually play this game, because I don't want to wait for it to come out on Android. I'm too excited. So anyway, yeah, that's what I think about it, and I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be great for everybody to grow their business.
Very cool, Shannon. What I heard you say was similar to Jen. It brings the family together versus keeps the family apart. And that brings me to, this is not for young people. This is not for kids. This is for everyone across generations and across age groups. Doesn't matter how old, how young, how anything you are. It's just a matter of having the desire to, accept what has been brought into your life as an opportunity to share and be rewarded for it. So Troy, you are back. Hopefully your computer's working. I'm going to throw it back to you to close us out. Ask any last minute questions. I don't have any announcements. State of Play call Tuesday night. Other than that, I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Vanessa. And yeah, I got a big red stripe across my computer that says we're going to restart your computer, and there was no way for me to stop it. So we're under a little pressure on this. So thanks for your patience, and thanks for supporting that. I think it was perfect that what Shannon said, that ultimately that is the new world. And I've always loved working with Brian, because he's always been at the forefront of technologies, transformational technologies of where people are going to go before they even know they're going to go. And that's the blessing. Shannon just literally described exactly what the future looks like, and which is playing games, having fun, doing what we're already doing with this new technology, being paid for it. And this transition has been in the works for some time. Silicon Valley knew it was going to happen. The major corporations and app and gaming companies knew it was going to happen. They just didn't know when and who. And I love the fact that it's now and it's us, because we all know what that means to our families. And the parting thoughts that I've got for this is that, if people really look around at, just look around today, look around over the weekend, and see what people are doing. Look what's happening. They've got a computer at the end of their arm. This isn't even a phone. This is a computer that is 5 times more powerful than the PC they had on their desktop 3 years ago. And look where their eyes are. And I think that alone will answer the question. If you want to be in front of somebody, if you want to put a message in front of somebody, go where the eyes are. And it just makes sense that this is where it's at. So there's so much happening. We could go for another hour and a half talking about the new products that are coming out, the types of people who are lined up. We've got an individual who is, he's had millions and millions of downloads for his app. He's very good friends with the number 7 guy at the App Store. And this is an individual who's looking at us very, very strongly about using us as that new distribution model. And he's not the only one. And so the thing that I really want to emphasize to everybody on this hangout is as this starts to go like this and starts to go vertical, being a part of it by doing exactly what Shannon was describing, everybody can do that. You're literally putting yourself and your family and your circles of influence in a very, very safe and fun place. And so with that, I hope everybody is having the time of their life. Yesterday we did a call with some of our team, and that was really the theme of the call, which was life's too short not to have a really good time. It's a blink, it's over very quickly. And so we hope here at Rippln, everybody who's on this panel, that you go out today and do something incredibly fun, do something that freaks other people out and fires you up, and just go live a fun life and think Rippln. So with that, Vanessa, I'm really grateful that you guys were here. I'm grateful for all of you. It's been so incredible to be a part of this journey, and we're just getting warmed up. So with that, everybody, have a fabulous weekend. Check in with your team groups on your Facebook pages. Check the Rippln blog and the Facebook page for updates, and go have an amazing weekend and share that game. So with that, we'll sign off. Everybody have a fabulous weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.